Oh, what's up guys? Everybody asked for this video, so I'm gonna deliver. What's the layout? So as everyone knows, we have 10 acres. I am up here in the front. I drew up to scale what it looks like out here. Guys, we're at the front entrance, and here is the Google Maps. The drone's not working, so I pulled up Google Maps, got an app that puts it to the T, the exact measurements, how everything is out here, and I hope this lays it out for you guys. So just from the beginning, you could tell, guys, we haven't used any of our property yet. We barely used any of it, just up in the front. So up here, I'm gonna show you guys the corner of the fence and show you guys on the map exactly where that is. We're up here right now at the front right corner, and on the map you guys can see where it is, and then the left corner is way down there, which is common sense, but just to get your bearings. So of course we got our front entrance here, and from the fence corner to the front here is about 100 feet, roughly about 100 feet, and then it cuts over, and then you have another about 200 feet going that way. Our property is 330 feet wide. We have our power pole, and then you guys saw the new power pole, and it's about halfway to the grain bin. From this corner, the left corner, to the pond is 60 feet. From this stake to that stake is 68 feet. So our pond is roughly 70 feet wide, and as you can tell, it's holding water pretty good. It's not full, but it is looking really good. Our driveway comes up right through the middle here, and then it curves around and it goes over to the grain bin and where the camper is, where the shop and the house is gonna be. You guys can see a little bit where the layout is. We'll get to more detail in just a minute. Our power pole, our electric meter, is about 60 to 70 feet from the road where that pole is, and then as you can tell, it's about halfway to the grain bin. The grain bin is about in line with the end of the pond, so it's about 130 to 140 feet from the road. I haven't measured exactly, but it's about that far from the road. So right here is where our garden's gonna be. We don't know how big it'll be or anything like that, but this is a perfect spot right in the open. This will be kind of our front yard, and it'll be perfect because other than that, what are we gonna use it for? We might as well use it to make us some food. As most of you guys know, we built a 32 by 32 foot deck. The 24 foot wide grain bin is sitting on top of that, and again, that's about 130-ish feet from the road. It's not terribly far off, but it is far enough away that we feel like it's safe enough. This will actually be the very front of the grain bin here, the house, and if you turn directly around, this is where our driveway will pull up, and we'll have a big driveway, a cement slab right here, and then the rest of the driveway will be all rock. And then on that side, the north side of the driveway, where the camper and tractor is, that's where our shop is going to be, and that's about roughly about 100 feet from the grain bin over. Whenever the shop actually comes up, it'll probably be roughly about, I don't know, 60 to 80 feet away from the start of it, and then it'll work its way back. And then we're going to build a barn-dominium house, a small one, right next to it if we decide to build later on. If we have kids or we want more room, it'll give us a little more room in there. So you'll come straight up the driveway, you'll turn, you'll come straight to the grain bin, and then you'll also have the shop and the house. Everything within walking distance, very, very close. That way our power can be run not very far, under the 250 foot distance, to get power, good, strong power to all of them. And speaking of that, the 250 feet away, the barn is actually less than that. The barn, you can tell, is right over there. Okay, Jason, you said there's a barn. There is no barn. Well, we haven't built it yet. You guys should know that, but this is where the barn will be. It's going to be a 30 by 30 barn, and then the fence is going to cut over on the back of it down over there, and then it'll cut back all the way to the pond. From the edge of the barn to the edge of the pond is probably 70 to 80 feet, if that. So roughly that far away, not very far. The fencing and everything, this whole section is going to be 120 feet wide by 270 feet. So 120 feet wide by 270 feet deep. That it will have the barn sitting in it and the pond over there. It's not a lot of room, it's not a lot of pasture, but it's a great start for us right now, and then we'll expand all the way north to the end of the property. As you guys can tell, we're not using any of this property. It's going to be almost strictly for the animals. We're using the very front, and all the back is going to be for the animals. And speaking of animals, they're right over there. As most of you guys know, unless you're new here, our animals right over here. We have our pen for the goats, turkey, and chickens, and then the pen right next to it is for the pigs and our male goat, which we're going to be rehoming. We don't want any more baby goats of these kinds. So the goat pen right now is about 30 feet wide by 60 feet, and then the pig area is a 60 by 60, so that's plenty big enough for them. But what's going to happen is we're going to build a shop right over here. So there's going to be a garage shop that's right over here. That's going to be a 16 by 24 with a 10-foot overhang. I'll throw a picture of something, what we're thinking, that way you guys can understand. And then what we'll do is we'll fence off this area after taking all this fence down, leave the structures, but make a bigger fence for them. So this will be another section that the animals can have, that we can also split them up. But if we want them in the barn, they can go over to the barn. If we want them separate, we could separate them. And then we'll end up using the garage shop that I just showed you guys as storage. We'll put our tractor, we'll put hay, we'll put feed, we'll put all that type of stuff, all our tools. And then later, whenever we get the big shop like we're going to do up in the front, that's where all of our main things will end up being. This garage shop is going to be utilized right now, but later in the future, it's going to be more for hay, the tractor, all the stuff like that that is more animal related. All right, so now we're walking back over here to the creek. As you can tell, there is a little bit of water going through here. It doesn't go straight across. It has a little curve to it, and it's never going to hold a bunch of water, but we will utilize this for the animals. We're going to end up having a pen that gets really, really close to this creek, and then part of the creek will actually be fenced in. But down here on the very end, you guys can tell it is rough. So on the east side of our property, the creek really isn't all that bad, but when you go to the west side, it gets pretty rough. I think that's the way you can tell the land slopes down, because it starts to pick up more speed as it goes. The beginning of the creek that I could see, and then when it goes west, it gets a lot crazier. I think it just picks up more speed and more speed with the water, and it just gets worse going west. So to fence it in is going to be very difficult. So we'll probably come around and cut over and then go back. It'll be a little bit of a pain in the butt for fencing, but it is better than all our animals getting underneath, or a big goalie washer rain come through and just wipe it out. So the creek that comes through, we thought was about halfway through the property, which is good that we're doing this. It's showing us that it's not. And as you guys saw, we're barely utilizing anything in the front. So this is awesome. This is truly something that's super cool for our animals. This whole thing is almost based solely on them. We're not 100% sure where, but around the creek area, since the land slopes both ways towards the creek, we're going to put a pond. So that way there's the pond up front that you guys are very much aware about, and then in the back we can have a pond also, and all the rain will go down to that and fill it up and keep it full for the animals when they're back here in the second half of the property. So we're walking back towards the end of the property, more on the left side towards I guess more center left, and I started making trails going through here. Outlaw, whenever he came out and cleared, made some trails, but we're gonna walk back here to the end of the property and show you guys. Our property actually goes past our fence, but for now, since the fence is already up, we're gonna utilize it and keep it that way. Less fencing at first. Oh, be so much better. The good thing is, you guys know, I got my buddy Victor to come up, the old drummer from the band that I was in, and got it all staked up. That way we know exactly, since, you know, look at this. It is straight crazy woods. How in the world would you get the exact fence line and everything? We had the full real survey done before we bought the property, and then we had a surveyor come out and mark all of the fence line all the way down. That way we don't have to guess going through all these trees, because there ain't no way you're gonna pull string through all of this and get it 100% right. And there's no way I'm gonna do, what is it, 13, about 4,000 feet of fence and not get it right and have to redo it. I don't think so. So getting back here, we marked it up on the fence. That way we know on the fence where it is, but it also goes past the fence back there. But at least we know on this fence since it's already here where it is, we're going to utilize this fence, and then maybe later on cut it back. But for now, keep it simple. As you guys can tell though, it is a pretty good fence. It's not bad. You can tell they put it in a little while back, but it's in great shape. So we do want to utilize it for now. It would be a shame not to use it, tear it down, but later on we definitely will. So this is probably gonna be a little difficult to tell, but through here you can tell it's pretty thin. And if we came through and we cut out all the small stuff, we'll get a lot of grass growing. There's already grass all through here. But this is what we talked about when we first got the property. We can turn a lot of this into pasture. It won't take a whole lot of work. Come clean out all the little stuff, get some sun down in here for the grass to grow even better, and our animals will be set really, really well. All right, so now we're walking down here to the other corner, the back right corner. It would be the northeast corner. And then unfortunately, the fence again is way off. It's about another 30, 40 feet back is where the corner will be, but we did get it marked up, and then we got it marked all the way down. But over here, you could really tell how much pasture we can get if we start clearing it out. So a lot of this back part of our property is going to be cleared, which is cool because we don't want to clear too much in the front because we like our privacy. But back here, everything around us is straight wood. So if we clear it out and have a bunch of grass, it's perfect for animals, and we still have our privacy. And I'm out of breath. It's a lot of walking. All right, guys, so hopefully this shows you what we're doing with our property, the layout of it, all of that. We're gonna show you really soon what the layout of the actual grain bin tiny house is gonna be. Very, very soon, we're gonna go look at some tiny houses in person, some Airbnbs, stay there, get it all checked out, show you guys. You guys have been sending us floor plans for this, so we're excited. We're about to get the barn going, put the fence up, everything. Guys, it is rock and roll time. Unfortunately, it rained, so that's why I ended up doing this video. Show you guys, give you guys a little update, show you guys what we're doing, where we're doing it, and on the next video, you guys are gonna see nothing but work.